it wasn't a very busy week last week. You won't know because obviously there's that many bits and pieces of filming going together. But a few shops have still got the supposedly seemingly endless sales on that have been going on since God knows when, middle of November of last year. I had a little punt. There, it seems rather a large box for what I ordered. It's DPD that have shipped it, no problem. For once I haven't got a hole in the box that's not supposed to be there, even after Mr. Loki's thorough inspection. Let's try not to cut your nose off. But, assuming it's because some of the packaging might be quite long. So I did buy something from DCC Concepts, which is pretty unusual. Siemens, they do good stuff, but it's not cheap, is it? Then as they say, quality doesn't come cheap. Although sometimes you pay quality prices but not get quality products. Hey, Hornby. Talking of which, somewhere in here is hopefully a Hornby product. That will be of passable quality. It's a steamer, you might guess, being Hornby, and it is Lemberg, I think it's called, in wartime black. Obviously my sort of period I'm going for is leading up to and during the war, hence a lot of the stock is in wartime austerity black. And this was £126 or something around about that figure. It is the new tooled version of whatever they done, but you know, die cast foot plate and firebox flicker, and you even got the option of putting a rail wheel on the pony truck as opposed to the stupid static thing. So I will have a quick browse to make sure. Oh yes, straight away something very small and plasticky is falling out of the box. Well, there's the steam dome cap. Some other, I don't know what the hell that is. That looks like a plastic shaving, a bit of spruiking. That's fell off me pissing finger now. That looked like it's just a shaving of plastic. I don't even know where that bit's supposed to go. It looks like a dome. Or a bowler hat. Yes, it's in the middle of the locomotive boiler. Or rather it should be. There's a small indent where I presume it should have got stuck down. It hasn't. Oops. Yeah. I don't know what the other bit was. It looked like just a little bit of shaving. It was too thin to be a detail part. He says. Tender is connected. Nothing else there. It's got a bit of a funny smell to it, almost a disinfectant-y. The oil they use. The boiler is covered in oil, which probably wouldn't have helped with glue retention. think it's going to be, we've got sprungy buffers, a tender that's jammed together over the, it says a die cast foot plate, it's actually just a piece of etched mesh by the looks of it. Right. The doors are on the cab, which can break off sometimes. Could it have been... Sorry, this is a bit of a talk to myself and you along. Everything else seems to be there. I'm going to run it because I'm not sure the valve gear looks quite as it should. The oil, I don't know what oil they use, and it's rather an unpleasant aroma, sort of a medicinal smell, like you used to get in hospitals when they cleaned them properly. So, yeah, good old Hornby, hey? Could be a collector's item soon when they go tits up. Right, now I've got to try and get this thing back in with no room for it. Well, that was another impressive quality product. A little box of disappointment, hey Mr. Cola? Not that it matters because you don't work there anymore, surprise. Yeah, so it was £126. I think it's 40% off or 50% off. Yeah, it's the second time I've bought an A3 when it's been discounted down considerably. I think the last one should have been £220, which when you consider they're in the price bracket that you can get bottom end locos or discounted locos with sound. I mean, you bear in mind that if you're paying full RRP, you're then going to fork out another 120 quid to put sound in it. Proper sound, not the TXX thing that blows up. That puts them, you know, into Bachman territory at £300+. Sorry Hornby, you just don't make stuff that's worth the price tag you're putting on it, which is why I only buy them when they're heavily discounted. I mean, the locos I bought 3 years ago from Amazon that were all the little wartime black J36s and J52s were all well under £100 3 years ago. Just recently I saw a localish model shop asking £100 for a second-hand one, when, you know, you could buy them discounted. Probably from them, as long with it. They all seem to be guilty of it. It's not just chat-ons. I've got to say, TMC did give an extra 5% off over this weekend. They extended it another day. They seem to be like DFS at the minute and have a sale every, you know, it's coming up for Easter, so it'll soon be time to stop the sale and start another one. 5% didn't work. It worked on the checkout. You bought the items. It said £197. Then I added the extra 5% discount code in the already sale prices, and it went down to £192. Then I selected to pay through whatever secondary means they take credit card payment through, and it was £205. And I thought, well, are they chucking postage on it? It had gone up an odd amount. It didn't, you know, it didn't work out the same as their postage rates. So I came out of it and cancelled it all, and then sort of hummed and hawed over it. Went back in and tried it another way, and it didn't work. It still came at £205. Then I proceeded with the payment because it still had the shipping bit left blank, and I looked and thought, you know, I've gone over the £200 or whatever it is. I should get free postage anyway. And it even said that on their screen. So I proceeded to go through checkout and take off their default postage setting to free postage, which it should have been anyway. But it still only took it down to £202 and not £192. So I posted a comment 11 o'clock at night on the Saturday night, I think it was, saying, oh, your payment is not working in unison with your shop front, and it's not knocking off the discount because it more or less worked out the same amount as the 5%, give or take a few pennies. Now hats off to TMC covering my address. I went back on Facebook. I'd posted this on their Facebook post, and it was about 11:30 at night. I got an email, a secondary confirmation coming through with the correct £192, and I'd had a message put on, or a comment put on, to PM them with the error, to sort of communicate with them furthermore. So 11:30 at night, the owner had gone on, obviously from home, gone on the company website, rectified the issue, found it, rectified it, sent me out a new invoice. I sort of messaged them back later that night, and he still gave me a phone because I'm a bit of a night owl, and sort of just reiterated a little bit further into it, and he sorted it out. I checked on Monday morning, I think it was, on my credit card, and he'd refunded the 202 back to me and then rebilled me the correct amount. The similar sort of issue at Hatton's used to take me a month. That was if I pushed 2 or 3 times with emails or phone calls to get the same result as TMC done in less than 12 hours. So, yeah. Customer service starts before the sale, during the sale and after the sale. But we all know what happened to Hans. So what else did I buy? Very light packs of foam. Obviously, you know, I sort of done the hints and tips thing, you know, buying flooring underlay for saving money on sort of large track bed areas, or if you want to cut it up into segments, or you can buy rolls of foam. They work out cheaper, but not a huge amount cheaper. Obviously my project is going to be a reasonable size. Now the Woodland Scenics, the rolls are 33 feet. I can't remember what those are, 10 metres, something like that. They're £15 to £19 depending on where you shop. I had 3 on pre-order with Hatton's at £10 a roll because I thought, well, that price is too good to miss. I'll have 3, 30 quid, and get myself, you know, 99 feet, 100 foot. But obviously that never transpired because they were never going to reorder a new supply because they were already intending on closing before they announced it. So that sort of fell by the wayside. The cheapest I could find it was about £14 a roll. I did find it at House of Hobbies a little bit cheaper, but they're not the most reliable shop in the world. It's already waffling on here rather than me saying cut a long story short, because it ain't going to be, is it? So DCC Concepts. Now their stuff's £30, so it's twice as much as Woodland Scenics, but you get 100 feet, not 33. So even if you bought 2 rolls of Woodland Scenics, you'd be £30 and get 66 feet, and you get 100 feet from DCC Concepts. So even paying their 30 quid a box, which I've got to admit I probably wouldn't do normally, these were reduced to 25. Then I also got a further 5% off them, so they were even cheaper. And I wanted to see what kind of material it is, and I thought, well, you know, it's not going to get any cheaper, so I have spent 75, well, the best part of 75 quid on track underlay. You know, that seems a lot of money, but, you know, I've got a lot of track delay. So I will be looking at trying to save money some other way, but, you know, for speed and convenience, you know, sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and get the pre-made stuff. You can see that, well, I guess they're about 2 foot long. Would have liked longer lengths, which is why I like the roll stuff from Woodland Scenics, but it's just too expensive. This is pre-scored as well, so you can split it into two for going around curves and that. You can only sort of get a very, very mild radius on it before you start getting the buckling. So to avoid that, you cut it in two. So yeah, I bought 3 boxes, hence the big box because of the length. And then obviously I was tempted by the cheap deal on the Hornby locomotive, which looks like it was a seconds, which is a normal locomotive for Hornby, isn't it? And if you're really unlucky, you get a thirds because their seconds are their firsts. But yeah, not impressed with them. But you know, again, they're sort of getting to the point where you buy a Hornby, what do you expect? We know what we should expect, but we don't get it. So yeah, I will reserve a judgment on said Hornby. Well, I haven't, have I? Let's run it first before we contact TMC and say it's going back for return, or whether I just get the glue out. Although obviously I'm going to have to degrease it as well because it's covered in oil and the glue's not going to stick to oil. So this little segment that should have took 5 minutes is probably now 20. Sorry.